What's going on, guys? I'm Ray.
Mike.
And I'm Ed.
And we are Nerdcore. Today we're going to be talking about the newest Netflix premiere, Cloverfield Paradox. So we're talking about the Cloverfield Paradox today, which generally seems to be receiving a lot of hate, which I believe to be for good reason, because, at least from my perspective, the Cloverfield... the anthology is not something that you can just watch on the surface and know everything. So your average Super Bowl watcher, I don't think, would necessarily enjoy this movie, which unfortunately seems to be the general public.
Yeah.
But
Pretty much, yeah.
We happen to be fans of the movie since it dropped in, what was that?
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
2008.
2008.
Yeah, we saw that in the theaters all together.
That's right.
No, I didn't see it with you guys. But
Yes, you did.
Did I?
We
Yeah.
went with my dad, I think,
Yeah.
right?
No, I wasn't there.
You probably went like 7 times.
Yeah, you probably did.
No.
Yeah, because it was, we
That
were
was
all
Spider-Man.
excited about it.
Yeah.
You're thinking about Spider-Man.
in
Anyway,
theaters,
proceed.
Either way.
Yeah, we saw it opening night. All of us.
So we saw it opening
doing
night,
this.
and all three of us with my dad, and we've been fans ever since. So I think the beautiful thing about these movies is that it leads a fan or a viewer elsewhere to find more information. A lot of people talk about the ARG, alternate reality game that it creates, where there's so much internet presence on these topics and trying to connect the movies. Now, as these other ones have been released, we've made more connections. So, at least from my opinion on the third one, I enjoyed it. It answered a lot of questions, but opened way more. And I think that's kind of what we're here to talk about. Mike, what did you think about the movie?
I can't say I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed more the story continuing. As a standalone movie, again, I can see people not liking it. I thought it was a beautiful sci-fi film. You know what I mean? Awesome score, really good cinematography. But I think for these movies, it's for the die-hard Cloverfield fans.
Absolutely.
And I think they made a really good move by not releasing it in theaters, so it would have completely flopped in theaters. It is not for the general public. That was their smartest move, was to release it on like a Netflix platform. Obviously, I was drawn in because of the whole I love Cloverfield. I'm like addicted to this mythology and where it's going. But as a standalone film, I still really liked it. A lot of people just said it was a complete mess. I didn't mind that because it started going with dimensions being clashed together and stuff like that. So I expected a lot of strange things. Obviously, there were things that didn't make any sense at all. Sure. That I questioned. Stuff involving an arm and worms and stuff like that. But I wasn't completely... It didn't take me out of the film. I thought it was beautifully shot. The score was incredible. It was the same guy who did the score for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Bear something. But...
It was pretty good.
I think that this film is for kind of the Cloverfield fanatic.
Sure. Yes.
Lack of a better word. It's for those fans. Which is why it was a good idea that they didn't release it in theaters. That last move, and I think the marketing, just side note, the marketing I thought is brilliant in these movies.
Netflix was the most intelligent way to go.
I liked it. Wasn't a perfect film, but again, I'm so addicted to this story and the mystery wrapped behind it. I'm excited to see what's going to come next,
Right.
for sure.
I think the film itself had inconsistencies.
Absolutely, as does everything,
as
though.
As a general watcher, you'd pick them out
for
more.
sure.
Like something that you said, right? Like what was going on with the arm, right? Why did that arm that got severed from the guy all of a sudden help him?
Right.
And tell him like he knew other things.
Yeah.
Like,
but then you're going into the mix of dimensions and weird shit happening. They kind of
right. I know. But I'm saying as a general watcher, like someone would be like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's not for everyone.
Right.
But Ed, what did you think of it?
I think it both failed and succeeded. I would say that there's a good reason why this movie is the black sheep of the trilogy thus far, because it is so different than the first two. I mean, it's extremely different. The first two were clearly made for a broader audience. The first one,
definitely.
Giant monster movie.
100%, yeah.
Awesome. First of all, it did the whole
found footage
type thing, but it did it before it was lame. Right, it kicked off the whole trend, like we said.
I think even if it was made today, it wouldn't be lame.
But you wouldn't.
There was just so much genius behind that.
But that wouldn't, like, now we see a found footage film, we're like, do I really want to see this movie?
People tend to stay away from that kind of shit.
But this was the first one to kind of kick it off, and it did it awesomely. The first one was such a good movie. The second one took it a different route, but still a popular route. There was a big gap between Cloverfield 1 and Cloverfield 2.
Huge gap.
Huge gap, right?
8 years.
So you can't expect the regular moviegoer.
Now, hold on. I'm sorry. Was that, like, illustrated immediately in the movie that it was such a large gap.
In
'Cause
10
the whole
Cloverfield
time
Lane?
that I was watching, for some reason, I must have missed.
Time-wise, you're saying?
Yeah.
Even when the trailer dropped, there was no indication that it had anything to do with the first Cloverfield other than its name.
Right.
And that was the thing. It was supposed to be a blood relative to Cloverfield, but not necessarily a sequel or anything like that. And that's what kicked off. Like, it's just gonna be, they're gonna make a bunch of these movies, and it's all gonna be kind of similar styles and a lot of mystery wrapped into it. But all of them are gonna hold the Cloverfield title. Now, then when you see Paradox, that changes everything. They're going a different route, obviously.
Right.
Still, you cannot see Cloverfield 1 and enjoy Cloverfield 2. I don't think that about the third one. That said, with saying that those first two are such strong entries, the third one isn't as strong. Not at all.
Definitely the weakest of the three, for
But
sure.
the only reason that it is so enjoyable is for the people who love Cloverfield.
Right. It's
If
the
you
most
love the
connecting
mythos,
film.
yeah, you're gonna watch that movie and you're gonna say, "Where is this gonna lead me to?" The Cloverfield franchise lets us all sort of become our own little investigators in a way. So you get to go online, you investigate,
So cool.
and you sort of
Love
figure
it.
things out. Very fun, but it's not a thing that you imagine everyone's gonna do.
No, most people aren't gonna want to do it. Like, they're gonna be like, I want to watch a movie. I don't want to do some fucking research on the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what your
That's
average
your
person is
average
gonna say.
Super Bowl watcher, bro.
Of course.
So-
And while that said, like, you could say, why would they bring it out in the Super Bowl? Like, those people aren't gonna want to watch that. Like, you're gonna have the nerds at me who wasn't watching the Super Bowl. I was online. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I fucking
oh
hate
shit,
sports.
Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Side note, I watched the Super Bowl just so I could, because I knew that it was going to air throughout the Super Bowl, so I was like, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl because I want to see the first trailer of Cloverfield, and then I missed it. I didn't see it. I got to the Super Bowl party. I was like, "Did we see the trailer yet?" And they're like, "Yeah, it just came on. It's gonna be on Netflix."
I was there when it played and you weren't there, and everyone was like, "Yo, make sure you tell Mike that he fucking missed it." You're such a Clover fan, Field.
Dude, I love fields.
Fan fields. Right. So it was brought out, but that is how it became a success. Because it's not going to be a success if just we're the ones we're gonna watch it, right? But Netflix is the best platform to see it. You don't have to go anywhere. You just click it on, you put it on right there. So it was very smart
true.
for the Cloverfield series. Very, very smart. And I think that Bright let them see that they're like, this is the right move. That movie succeeded without being a good movie.
I don't want to talk about Bright anymore.
Neither do I. All right, but let's get back to Paradox and the movie by itself.
It's a staple of shit on Netflix.
Quite shit. It's quite shit.
I'm gonna bring up a couple things that I felt that the movie did lack in, but I will also have things that I felt that it succeeded in.
And then I'm going to tell you how I feel about that.
I will say that the lead, Ava Hamilton, I believe that she was a very weak lead. She didn't have any purpose until the end of the movie.
Okay.
She would have been a fine side character. I understand her story. I understand why she was upset, but I felt no magnetism towards her character.
She kind of reminded me a little bit of Ripley.
Oh, I see.
Looks wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In space. I was kind of hoping that she would get her Ripley a little bit earlier than she did.
So my next issue was, I don't understand, while they had in the movie, we had alternate dimensions, right? Not to get in fully of it, if you've seen the movie, you know that there are alternate dimensions, right? But it seemed like it wasn't consistent. When Mundy had ended up losing his arm in the alternate dimension, it ended up coming back, but in a way that it was giving them hints about how to figure something out. Now, I don't know if it just became a great coincidence that it helped them, or what was the purpose of that?
You know, obviously there was Mundy from this dimension that got transported to this dimension. So maybe something happened in this dimension where something happened, like maybe Mundy's arm played some kind of role in something in this one. Maybe they got cut off or something like that. Then boom, this comes over here. If the one woman's allowed to end up in a wall, maybe there's some elements of other characters kind of that's stuck on this ship. I mean, there are obviously somewhat similar events happening in dimensions. There's different variations and shit, but maybe something...
This is the Cloverfield Paradox right here.
Maybe something in the other dimension, some things happen with those particular elements.
All right.
Or something with worms. Something with what's that box called?
The Tesseract.
So when same character, Mundy, right? Let's see, he went into the whatever the hell it was to repair it and like make one last try.
Yeah.
Then the whole magnetic field thing happened, and all his tools started hitting this fucking thing, and then the caulk that you keep, the metal caulk that you keep seeing throughout the film, it started pulling because of the magnet. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense, and it formed this sharp point.
I'm with you on this.
Why in the fuck
did it become like a?
did it like grab him?
It became
pull
like
him back and like
it became like a life form and like just,
yeah.
See, I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly on my list, that scene. But
Is that next on your list?
No, it's all scattered. It's all scattered.
That'd been cool if it was next.
This was my reasoning for it. So,
Right in my fucking ear, dude.
That's
Stop
it.
this
That's
shit.
my. So the idea was that when the two realities have merged, chaos ensued. So what the natural thing for the universe is to do is to fix the inconsistencies. So what was happening was sort of the universe.
Like a Final Destination type of
Yeah,
thing.
it had to fix what the problem was. He wasn't supposed to be there. Now, we don't have any other things to back that up because it didn't happen to anyone else. It just happened to him.
Right.
Right? But that's the only reason I could have seen why that was happening. Because it said
I guess,
that
just
metal
took-
seemed too malevolent. It's just like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I'm
I
the-
thought it was just gonna like stab him through the fucking door.
That's yeah.
But it was like
But
killing
then
him.
all of a sudden it gained life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Although
it was
it
like in
was
his mouth. It was very like.
it was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah,
I hope it
but
wasn't
didn't-
just a cool scene.
Were you confused about the whole thing ending up in the guy's stomach?
The worms.
The Tesseract.
Yeah.
Oh.
The worms or the thing.
I'm confused about why both ended up in his stomach.
All right, but hold on a second. So I think it's
Okay.
the same logic of why Mina ended up in the wall. If Mina can end up in a fucking wall,
Right, sure.
like why can't this thing end up in his body?
Right. Why? But why both of them?
But you know what I think both of them? I just think that that part just justifies why the worms were in there. Because it was almost like his stomach, for whatever fucking reason, became this black hole of where things were getting put into. Somehow, his fucking stomach ended up being a place where things were being put into. You know, what? It's weird as hell, but also made for an awesome, cool death scene. For everyone that is just watching this movie as just a movie in itself, like, oh, it's just Cloverfield 3, don't look at it that way. Look at it as that you get to have sort of an interactive experience, which is awesome. I mean, we definitely enjoy it. I love being able to cling on to things and just really like what's beneath it. That's my personality,
Right.
and I feel like that's all three of us.
It's like you said, it's like we're the detectives,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what the hell this story is and what's going on.
So you have to really look at it. The whole Cloverfield franchise. Now, I'm not talking about the third one necessarily, but talking about the first one, is absolutely brilliant. It's completely brilliant
The
because
third one?
No, I'm saying the Cloverfield idea.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you're able to not just watch the movie, you're able to become a part of the movie. You're able to look things
Yeah.
up and say, well, what did that mean? What did that mean? It's as if you're there, you're taking part of it.
It's
You're
amazing what
watching
these
it.
people are
Well, yeah, I mean-
figuring out.
They accurately put a name to it. It's a movie franchise.
Okay,
it's a
so-
game that you're playing.
Right.
I'm a little nervous that the Cloverfield element is just being shoehorned into these films at the end. Because I don't know if you remember, but 10 Cloverfield Lane was originally called The Cellar, and apparently had nothing. This is the news. Apparently had nothing to do with Cloverfield, and at the end,
Oh.
they just kind of attached Cloverfield to the name.
Is that another last minute decision? They're like, fuck it, let's connect all this shit.
It's a possibility.
Right.
So what if they didn't even have the alien element into it? It was just about a girl getting, kidnapped, and it's a solid plot as
Right.
is.
Oh no, the movie would be successful.
Even if it didn't have that element.
Yeah.
Some people didn't enjoy that element. I did, but some people didn't enjoy
'Cause-
that
'cause
last
it- 'cause it
kind of
changed it up.
gear switch.
The last 20 minutes of the movie was fantastic.
I loved it.
awesome.
I loved At some points of Cloverfield Paradox, you kind of I feel like it might have been filmed after the fact. Like the whole thing of him on Earth, the husband on Earth.
You're saying that wasn't a part of it. It could have
Maybe not originally.
been. I don't think so.
I hope it's not.
I think
I hope
they
it's
took
not.
the popularity of the first movie, and a large amount of what's happening is based on the popularity, you know? Like you said, maybe they fucking had this other script written for The Cellar, and all of a sudden they were like, how do we make this movie boom? Holy shit, let's add this apocalypse multi-dimensional thing to it, and then make the guy live on Cloverfield Lane. Boom.
Right. It's still. I don't think it really drains all of the fun out of it. You know what I mean?
I think it does.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a little bit, yeah. If you look even further into it, you'll see little, for example, like Dharma Initiative is all over the place.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Slusho is all over the place. Not just in Cloverfield, but his
I mean,
movies
all
in
of his
general.
different projects,
Right.
yeah. Star Trek, Star
saying
Wars,
that
all this shit.
An I guess Easter
Easter
egg
eggs,
is the best.
yeah.
What if this whole thing is just one big Easter egg?
Okay, my
all
point.
about the Dharma
my
Initiative,
point,
that'd be
yeah,
cool.
my
Figure
point
it
is
out.
that if this whole thing is not about Cloverfield in general, he's just putting all these Easter eggs in all of his different movies to somehow connect, his movies.
It's
it's a personal
It's just
thing.
like a branding thing at
Right,
that point.
then it's the biggest fucking joke.
If all this shit was possibly, we'll never know, maybe we will, shoehorned into these original films that previously had nothing to do with Cloverfield, I think now is the time to fucking own it.
Yeah, right.
Listen to the fans. Like, we don't need another confused thing to open more doors.
No.
Yeah, I think if
There's
we get
enough
another
fucking
Cloverfield
theory,
movie
yeah.
that does what Paradox did, does what Lane does, I will
No more
actually
questions,
say
no more questions.
I don't care anymore.
Overlord, the fourth Cloverfield, that's his code name because each one of them had a code name.
Right.
That is done. It's completed. If you go on IMDb, it says completed. So
Really?
just everyone out there, be on the lookout because they're gonna pull some shit.
Yeah.
Dude, what if this shit comes out in 2 months?
It fucking might. That's what I'm thinking.
And that's
what I'm thinking.
And that's why I think this movie is setting off a chain of a different type of.
Sorry, I mean.
Why are you so close?
All right. So I think what we're getting at is where we want to see Cloverfield go from here. We know that there's more confirmed projects. We don't know how many more. Whether the correct medium is going back to theaters or staying with the Netflix or even going to a series, that's up to them. But I think we all agree that we want to see some questions answered in the near future. Really, let us know what you feel and comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't, especially if you're a Clover fan field.
Let us know what you think. For sure. I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing.
Yeah, let's have the conversation
You
going
know?
on here.
Yeah.
Let's hear what you guys think. I mean, come on. You guys have to have your own theories, as wild as they
Bring
are.
on
Let's hear them.
the theories. Anyway, I'm Ray,
I am Mike.
And I'm Ed.
and we're Nerdcore, and we out.
Yeah!